Hello everybody, Jeffrey McAvoy here. Today we're going to be talking about Lambda sensors, what they do and why it's important to change them every now and then. Now these Lambda sensors, what they do is that they keep an eye on the residual oxygen percentage in the exhaust gases. Now this gives an information to the ECU about fuel mixture strength. So it can adjust a rich or lean situation just by telling how much oxygen is left in the exhaust gas. So when the Lambda sensor fails, what it does is it tells the ECU, I can't see anything, so go flat out on the injectors just to make sure that we're never in a lean situation, because a lean situation can ultimately destroy your engine. So that's what it does. I noticed a surge in fuel consumption on my BMW, so I ran some diagnostics, and this is what I came up with: 40 Lambda sensors on both sides. So they basically need replacing. Now these have the lifespan of roughly 100,000 kilometers. That's something that's useful to know as well. It's often overlooked during service, but 100k kilometers is what they'll usually do, and then they need changing. Now I have a special slotted socket specifically designed for Lambda sensors. Now they all have the same socket size, which I believe is 21 millimeters, and as you can see here, it has a slot in it so that you can place the wire through it. But the thing is, these Lambda sensors in this case are they're stock. They've never been taken off since the car left the factory, and so they're so tight, in fact, that the slot in the socket makes room for some flex, which you don't want. So I hold it clamped down with a vice grip, which works perfectly well, and then remove it. Now obviously you do this on a cold engine because you don't want to get burnt. Now this is what it looks like. It looks in good condition, in fact, but it doesn't work anymore. So out with the old, in with the new. Make sure you have the exact same reference. Don't go for the cheap parts. Yeah, sorry about that. I was filming upside down, didn't realize. Flip your screen over or whatever. But yeah, make sure that you have the exact same reference, otherwise the ECU will not recognize the Lambda sensor and will give a fully enriched situation again, and you won't have done anything. So you'll notice that there's a grey, greasy compound on the threads of the new Lambda sensor. Leave that there, it's very useful. It is a common misconception to use copper anti-seize in this location. I have talked about this to a friend of mine who sells injection systems for race cars, and he told me that it's something that often happens with people who don't really know what they're doing, to put copper grease on there, and it actually does more harm than any good, because it ionizes gases, or I don't know, I can't remember the exact details, but it was very specific and sounded plausible. So that's why the factory places this grey grease instead, so leave that there and use that. It's perfectly fine. Now there's a torque figure which I cannot remember off the top of my head, but it's in the manual somewhere, so look that up and torque it down. And that's pretty much it. Once it's tight, you reroute the cable as it was originally. If you don't remember, you use common sense. Plug in obviously the sensor connector, place the connector back in its little bracket, and route the cable, making sure that it doesn't touch the exhaust. In this case, there are some little clips on the exhaust heat shield where the cable is supposed to go. This ensures that they're not going to melt on the exhaust and short out, because this is an expensive part. And so yeah, better go with the real deal rather than the knockoffs that you can find on Fleabay or whatever, and make sure that it doesn't touch the drive shaft either, otherwise that would be quite catastrophic. So yeah, make sure you get the real deal. That's all there is to it. So all you have to do next is to start the car and go for a drive and enjoy your newly found fuel economy. Thank you all so much for watching. I highly appreciate it, and I'll be catching you in the next video.